We need financial stability and we need sustainability. And that's sustainability of both business, of our planet, and of our organisations that are there to sustain us. The second part is that actually business is more complex than it was. So if we just carry on with the status quo, we're missing whole parts of this. There's a really good piece of work that continues, and it shows that in the days when I qualified as an accountant, which is a long time ago, back in the 70s, you could actually look at the financial statements, the annual report, or the Form 10K in the US, and actually understand something up to 80%, this research shows, of the value in a business. If you convert that to today, it's below 20%. And that isn't because reporting is worse, it's because business is more complex and has changed. And that really, so the message is that financial reporting is critical, but not sufficient. And I would say the same with other forms of compliance type reporting. One of the biggest obstacles is to get people to understand what we're trying to do rather than to assume that it's more of the same. I have to say, if it becomes more of the same, we failed. You know, we're trying to have an evolution in corporate reporting here, not another report. And so that I would say is the primary obstacle that faces us as we go forward. And the second one does tie back to what I talked about before, which is about regulation. And to my mind, we've got to be very careful how we position reporting, corporate reporting and regulation. Because at the moment, regulation means more transparency, means more compliance. So that's why these things are intertwined. What we need to do is to create a regulatory environment that allows good corporate reporting to flourish. Simple. And that is not about more compliance, or more regulation. It's about changing the regulatory environment. And that's a big obstacle because it's not what governments and others are used to. But it is something we must try to create if integrated reporting is going to succeed. If you report by department or business unit, it creates more silos. Integrated reporting, for it to be effective, must break down those silos. And the breaking down of silos is an absolutely fundamental benefit that is being seen. Other benefits, there's a great piece of research which I'd like to refer people to, which is on our website around, that was done by Black Sun on our behalf, looking at our pilot companies and bringing key factors, key benefits from that. And you will find there that well over 90% of them are all in agreement with certain key benefits that are coming through. In terms of the accountant in business, it really depends where the accounting profession wants to hold itself out. I mean, if it's going to stay in the silo of finance, I don't think it'll impact it a great deal. But it has the opportunity to lead. And if the management accountant has the foresight to lift their eyes and say, I've got all of this to do, right? And it's sort of never ending, quarterly reporting and monthly board reporting and all of this sort of stuff. But actually, what is being done, is it valuable? And what we've got to try to get to is actually that they say, hang on a minute, what is it, lift our eyes, us as management accountants, what is it that we want to be communicating about the financial picture, the forward-looking financial picture of the business? The feedback we've had with our investor network across the world is that actually they're happy with as much transparency as a company wants to make. What they're not happy with is the context of the information. So in other words, you provide more and more information, but why? And how is it relevant to the business model or the value creation process, of the business? And I think that is the key. So if you're going to report on your carbon emissions or report on your increased turnover, so turnover's increased. Does that matter? Are margins down? Is it increasing in markets that are going to be emerging and evolving over time? Have you got the right products, or are they end of life? There's all sorts of context that investors are looking for. And what we're doing, what we are aiming to do, and pushing very hard to make sure that what we're doing is reporting for a purpose that is fit for purpose.